This is music, and this is a bunch of demos from my collection. Recently, Altars of Mattness and Rock and Metal Plus came up with the same idea independently, namely showing demos from their collections. Now, they focused on reissue style demos, so that's demos that have recently been reissued on more accessible formats like vinyl and CDs, and guess we can add digital releases as well. And I think it's really cool that there are labels out there doing that kind of work because there are so many obscure gems in those murky seas of uh, 80s and early to mid 90s, even a little bit after that, demo tapes. So much cool stuff that deserves to see the light of day, and people deserve to be able to enjoy that music. So I have a good bunch of reissue demos in my collection too, and this is my response to both Rock and Metal Plus and Altars of Madness. However, I decided to unleash my inner snobby metal elitist hipster and show real demo tapes from back in the day, and that's not because I have to prove that I am not a wimp and a poser and I'm a true metal guy too. No, 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 no. No, it's just because I thought it would be fun. So let's get down to business. Up first, Acridity, Countdown to Terror, an American thrash metal band. It's just out on this Max Cell tape, which is actually was pretty normal back in the day. And yeah, it's got this very professional, I think, printed J card. Love this black and white style um, cover artwork that we see on a lot of demo tapes. You got some, lyrics. You got some credits and stuff. So yeah, this is an American thrash metal band. They did release one album, which is called For Freedom I Cry, which itself is so obscure that Dive Bomb Records had to reissue it. And I think they included this demo on, I can't remember, but I think they included the demo on that reissue. I do have that reissue. So this is quality, solid, no nonsense, straight up thrash metal. Definitely worth checking out. If you like thrash metal, try to see if you can find a copy of the Dive Bomb reissue. Like I said, this one might even be included on it. So good stuff. Now, this is an American demo. I found this in a Danish record store called Mephisto. I have no idea how it ended up in Denmark. Maybe there was some tape trading going on at some point. Maybe the band actually played in Denmark at some point and sold some demos. I have no idea, but when I saw it in Mephisto, I had to pick it up immediately. It was just too cool. Up next, we have this one here, A Sale, and the demo is called Pain. Uh, and this one is out on this very, very generic uh, black shell that pretty much all of us used back in the day. I love how the label is just a price tag that says a sale. So this is out on a Xerox J card, but they put a lot of effort into it for sure. And this was also very common back in the day that the J cards would be Xeroxed. So you got some lyrics and you got some band photo and you got credits on this as well. So these guys and this demo is described as death metal. It has 4 tracks on it, by the way. But to me, this is more like a mix of death thrash and hardcore punk, because you have those heavy, groovy, hardcore elements all over the place here. It's really good stuff. I really enjoy this. And this is definitely something that's worth looking into if you have a reissue label. Up next, we have this one here, Promotion Tape 1994 by Beyond Serenity. As you can see, we got the same generic shell here. Uh, this is also on a Xeroxed J card. This one is just more modest. You got nothing on the back. This one has 2 tracks on it. And yeah, this is kind of thrash metal, but it's very melodic thrash metal. Maybe it's even like power thrash with elements of straight up heavy metal. Really good stuff. Melodic thrash metal from 1994. There wasn't a whole lot of melodic thrash metal out at that point because the metal scene was getting more and more extreme, right? So yeah, cool stuff and a bit of an oddity perhaps from its era. Up next, we got this one here, Deranged by Catharsis, out on a really cool shell here with an awesome label. It looks very professional, but also very underground at the same time. I love that. And you got no less than 7 tracks on here, so this is basically a mini album. Uh, Again, you got a Xeroxed J card, really cool artwork on here. Like I said, I love that demo tape style artwork. You got some more artwork here. You got a band photo. You got lyrics. So these guys were, as far as I remember, kind of a chameleon band, and they would change up their style. This is death metal, though, for the most part. Very interesting death metal, too. Another thing that's worth looking into if you have a reissue label. Up next, we have Compulsory Gnosis. On this style of tape, they were very common back in the day, too. You got no labels on here, so there's that to think about. And these guys had more resources because this is a printed J card. Very professional looking, very sleek. You got some lyrics, you got some credits, you got a band photo, you got, but still, black and white demo tape style cover artwork. Really good stuff too, kind of extreme metal, death metal-y stuff. Also worth looking into if you have a reissue label. Up next, Cyanotic Promo 95, Death Metal 2. These guys actually did manage to put out an album. I don't remember if these guys did. But yeah, these guys did manage to put out an album which was kind of like groovy, accessible death metal. They started out doing more old school death metal, but with a lot of melody to it. So it was kind of melodic death metal before melodeath was a thing. This one here is somewhere in between those two styles. Really good stuff. Very professional looking tape with a label and all that stuff, but it's actually that generic black shell. This is also out on a printed uh, J card with just their logo as the front cover artwork. You got a photo of the band here, and you got some lyrics in here. Really good stuff. I would love to somehow get my hands on a copy of their first demo because that's very unique. This one is great too. I picked this one up at Mephisto too, and I was in the middle of a conversation with the owner when I saw this, and my jaw just dropped, and I grew silent, and everybody else in the shop started laughing at me. But hey, I got this tape out of it. Up next, we have this one here, Disaster Area promo tape, altered beyond recognition, not official for sale. And just like the Accredity tape, this one is out on, one of those tapes you can buy in the store and, record your own stuff on it. Uh, no labels on here. So, and there's only music on one side. And I can't, you have to just hope that it's on the side you that you've rewound. Uh, this one also out on a Xeroxed J card, which is even like just an A4 paper that you can kind of fold out. I don't see any reason to do that though, although I just did it. They put a lot of effort into it too. Band photo, lyrics, uh, credits, all that good stuff. So Disaster Area, I would say it's death thrash. Um, so kind of again like early 90s death metal. Um, so death thrash. And this is not the original case, by the way. That one was busted up, so I replaced that one. But yeah, this is really good stuff too. Kind of along the lines of Massacre, Early Death, um, that sort of stuff. Maybe a little bit more thrashy. Great stuff. Um, really enjoyed that one. Up next, something really, really, really cool. We're talking eidetic, non-conspicuous warning. I bought this one on Discogs. Recognize a generic black shell, but this just has a label on it. Bought it on Discogs. Uh, Very professional looking printed J card here. I really dig this artwork. It's really cool, kind of abstract in a way. So yeah, again, very professional. You got a band photo, you got credits, you got track lists, you got lyrics, another band photo. So this is progressive thrash metal. Um, I'm always reminded of like Voivod, although they don't sound exactly like Voivod, but it's that era, and this is really cool. You got some aggressive stuff, you got some weird stuff, you got clean vocals, um, you got some melodic stuff too. Awesome stuff. Really, really unusual underground music from its day. Excellent stuff. Uh, Fantastic. I was so happy to be able to find a copy of this on Discogs. It wasn't cheap though, but not super expensive. And this one too, eidetic as well, and this is Mirror Passway, and this is one I bought at a show, I think, way back in the day when it came out. So uh, it's on the same generic black shell. The label on this one has kind of turned gray. I think it's the glue or the adhesive on it. So it doesn't look as nice as the other one. Um, but equally professionally looking. A J card, awesome cover artwork too. You got a band photo. I love their logo too, by the way. It reminds me a little bit of the Forte logo, which is a fantastic power thrash band. And you got lyrics and stuff on here too. So yeah, this is also progressive thrash metal. They lean a little bit more into the progressive side of things. So you got some dissonant solos and melodies and stuff like that. And this is basically an album. It's basically an album. You have enough songs on here that it's at least a mini album. Maybe album is too much. EP perhaps. But they're also kind of long, some of the songs. Fantastic stuff. Definitely worth checking out if you like your prog thrash. And these two here are worth looking into if you are labeled like Dive Bomb, for example. They put out a third demo, which is not thrashy. It leans much, much more towards more melodic hard rock and metal, but it's still progressive. Has 3 songs on it, and they're also fantastic. So I would love to get my hands on a copy of that as well. So there you go. Eidetic, fantastic stuff. Up next, and by the way, Danish band, uh, Disaster Area, Danish band too. Cyanotic, if I didn't mention that, Danish band as well. Uh, these guys here, compulsory, Danish band too. I think I mentioned this. I don't remember, but Catharsis, they're also a Danish band. Serenity, Beyond Serenity, Danish band. Assail, Danish band. There's a lot of Danish stuff in here, which kind of makes sense since it's where I live, and it's a little bit less difficult to find demo tapes by artists from the same country you live in. Anyways, we got some thrash metal here. Furious Trauma, Profit Counts. These guys ended up releasing a lot of albums later on. Some good, some less enjoyable to me, let's put it like that. And some are really awesome. But this is Profit Counts, fantastic demo tape. This I found this copy in Mephisto as well, but I used to have another copy that I bought straight from the band at a show, but that one was lost in time somehow. But you got this one here, Furious Trauma, thrash metal, out on a very professional looking shell, but you recognize it's that generic black shell, but it looks very professional with this really, really cool label on it. Comes with this, again, more professional printed J card, awesome black and white cover artwork too, and looks like this on the back as well. They have, I think some of the lyrics on here might be a little bit problematic to uh, people with a modern mindset. That is what it is. Musically, we're dealing with awesome thrash metal. with a good dose of straight up heavy metal in it. But this is thrash metal, and I saw these guys live a ton of times back in the day when they would play in my hometown, Odense. They were not from my hometown, but they would often play there, and they would play so often that we knew their set list, or that's what they thought. In reality, we could see their set list, so we would just shout out the titles of the songs, and they would eventually they would invite us on stage, and we would just have to stand on stage and snap our fingers in the background. That was their punishment. But great band, fantastic thrash metal, worth checking out. They did put out a bunch of albums, like I said. I think their debut album was, I think it's called Primal Touch. I don't remember. I do have it. And that has some fantastic songs on it too. So you can find some official material by this band. I wouldn't mind some kind of compilation with their demos, though. I don't think that has been done. So, hey, Here's Trauma, Lars Schmidt, if you're watching, consider that. That would be cool. I would buy one for sure. Up next, we got some more Danish metal here. This is Human Factor, and it's called Human Tree, The Human Tree. Uh, and this one is out on, again, this more common kind of more professional style of cassette tape. And this kind of chrome looking part, it's basically, the purpose is basically to prevent the tape on the spools from unspooling, because that happens. Anyways, I bought this from a private collector on Discogs. Not cheap, but not too expensive. Very, very, very professional J card here in colors and all. And since a lot of the demos back in the day came with, sometimes even without J cards, they came with Xerox J cards or, black and white printed J cards. Whenever we would see a printed J card in color, that was freaking mind blowing. Um, I think just by looking at these guys, you know the style, thrash metal, straight up thrash metal. And what more do you want? Really good stuff. Awesome cover artwork. Now, this is a band I actually didn't know back in the day, but it's good thrash metal, worth checking out if you like thrash metal, and worth looking into if you have a reissue label. Up next, another Danish band, a band from my hometown, uh, Courage or Courage, and God's Creation. This is kind of confusing because they have two demos out called God's Creation with different track lists. Only one of them is listed in Discogs, and then they have another demo which I think is self-titled, and I used to have a copy of the other demo too. But this one here I bought from the band, I think, but I bought it through a a girl from my school who knew the band. So she was kind of a liaison. So I think I bought it through her from the band, and eventually she invited us to a party that this band would. They threw that in their rehearsal room, and we were just a bunch of thrash metal teenagers, and this is like hard rock, heavy metal, old school stuff. So that party was just full of bikers and biker chicks and older people like in their 30s and even older. That was very interesting to us. The band played two sets, and that was really awesome. They played that in the rehearsal room, and then after the second set, we were too scared of all those bikers, so we left. Anyways, uh, yeah, this is old school hard rock heavy metal. Recognize the generic shell here. You got four songs on here, and I absolutely love this band back in the day. Uh, very, very modest J card, but printed in color. So that was pretty cool. And then you got the track list here, and I don't know if you can see it. The track list is actually a sticker that they stuck onto the J card, and there's a different track list underneath. So I think that's why they have like two demos out called God's Creation. My guess is they just had a bunch of surplus J cards and then they sold it like that. So this is hard rock, heavy metal, biker rock, and it's good fun. I have to say, it's a little bit cheesy now that I listen to it nowadays, but I still enjoy it, and it's good fun. And I think this is also a band because they have a couple of demos out, and they were also on the Fuck You We're from Denmark Volume 4 that my band was on too. It's known as the Bad Volume, or the Bad Fuck You We're from Denmark, whatever. With a song called I See Red. So they have enough stuff that you could do a dive bomb style reissue. You know what I mean? Up next, we got some more Danish stuff. Mirror Blind Tales. Straight up heavy metal, very professional looking tape with the label here. Straight up heavy metal. Uh, very cool, but kind of modest J card as well on a kind of thick stock of paper. And there's nothing on the back. Uh, so yeah, you got four tracks on here. One of them is kind of an introduction. Uh, but this is straight up heavy metal, kind of epic in places. A lot of Iron Maiden worship going on. Also a little bit of I would say Queensryche influence. Uh, but this is great stuff. Awesome. If you like Iron Maiden, this is worth checking out. I don't know if they put out any other demos than this one, but if they did, hey, Dive Bomb or Dive Bomb like label, look into this, will you? Because this is great stuff. Now, finally, we're moving on from Denmark to, I think this is Belgian. No Compromise. Um, looks like this is also on a transparent shell. Thrash metal on a thick stock, I think printed J card, but very similar in style to those Danish bands, cool cover artwork. Uh, Pretty good thrash metal too. Definitely worth looking into as well. I don't know if this has been reissued, but it's worth it. Up next, this is kind of an oddity. No Remorse, and it's called Wake Up or Die. Swedish, kind of thrash, kind of crossover thrash. Recognize the shell. Yeah. This one has four songs on it. You got your Xeroxed J card, and you got this very cheesy but charming artwork. Somebody just drew this. Um, this is, I think this music on here is more charming than brilliant, but it's enjoyable. I like how charming and underground and how youthful it is. I think some of the members of this band went on to form another band that actually did release something more professionally. I don't even remember how I got this one. I think maybe my brother kind of got his hands on a copy of this one and gave it to me way back when we were like teenagers, both of us. So that's cool. I appreciate that. This is worth checking out. If you, I don't know how many copies of this there are out there, if I'm being honest, but it's worth checking out if you find a copy. Uh, don't pay too much for it though. Up next, this is kind of a legendary release, which I do think was reissued on vinyl and CD later on. Sorcerer, Swedish epic doom metal. Just because they want to be opposite, they have a white version of the generic black shell. Very professional printed J card too, which looks very cool. You got this awesome cover artwork, and you got this kind of scroll here. Nothing on the other side. This one also came with kind of a card with contact details originally. This copy I bought didn't have that. But this is excellent epic doom metal, just old school epic doom metal. If you like your Candlemass, if you like that sort of stuff, if you like Mercy as well, check this out. It's awesome, and I do think this is out on vinyl and on CD as well. Up next, I think this is a French band, Thorns and Flowers, The Awakening. Very professional tape, this professional looking tape. Uh, but I guess they blew all their budget on this very professional looking tape. So the J card, Xeroxed, and very, 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 very modest. Like I said, think this is a French band, but I'm actually not sure. Uh, this is, yeah, the contact details got an address in French. This is Gothic metal, but it's not Gothic metal the way we think of Gothic metal today, like Beauty and the Beast style metal. This is more like along the lines of Paradise Lost. Really good stuff. I bought this on Discogs because I was just too curious, and I haven't regretted it. Really good stuff. Gothic metal, if you like that stuff. I don't think these guys have had anything. I don't know, but I don't think they've had anything more officially released. So hey, might be worth looking into this too if you are a reissue label. Up next, I think this is a Spanish band. I'm not sure. Thorns Crown, and you recognize. Well, actually, it's not the same style of generic black shell. This is another style of generic black shell with a very simple red label on it. And I like that they have used red paper, uh, but it's still just Xeroxed. And you got, some lyrics and stuff. I also like how they've actually crossed out some of the words in the lyrics. Maybe, uh, yeah, no, it's actually not even in the lyrics. It's actually in the credits, but they crossed something out. So death metal, kind of old school, early style death metal too. So quite thrashy, I would say. Very good stuff. Also worth looking into. So there you go. And the last one, because this is a kind of a long video, trend on generic black shell here with just one label on it. I think I think it had labels on both sides originally, but as you can see, the label is coming off. So the adhesive is failing. So I suspect that to be the case. This is a tape I actually bought from the band at a show back in the day. Very, very simple Xeroxed J card here. So these guys play groove metal. I think they called their style street metal, but it's kind of a mix of groove metal and funk metal. And they were hugely popular in Odense, their hometown, my birth town too, back in the day. They would do some crazy shows. Lots of things happening that are best left unsaid at those shows. Um, I absolutely loved them back in the day. Listening back to this now, I'm less enthusiastic about it, but I still enjoy it for the um, nostalgia of it. And there are some cool groovy riffs on here, but there's also a lot of that like groove metal, street metal kind of macho stuff that I think I've just outgrown that, but it's still good fun. And these guys did put out a full-length album on Die Hard Records. I don't remember if it was when they were called Die Hard Records or if it was when they were called Progress Red Labels. But they put out a full-length album called Bitch, which is similar in style. If you like your 90s weird groove funk metal, it is worth checking out. It's good fun. So there you go. A good stack of real demos in my collection. And basically, I just thought it would be fun to show some like authentic demos from back in the day. And hopefully, who knows, maybe somebody's watching who knows someone who might be interested in maybe reissuing some of this stuff because, like I said, there's so much cool demo stuff out there that, deserve to see the light of day and people deserve to be able to enjoy that stuff. I have more demo tapes in my collection, but I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet. Maybe I'll show them on a different occasion. I do believe I have shown or will show all of these in update and haul videos, the ones I've shown already. So it's not brand new stuff. But there you go, some real demos from my collection. Thanks for watching.